I forgot to bring this up last week, and I don't know what to do about it yet, but I did want to remind myself to bring it up. Books for prisoners. All right, so I saw these guys tweeting about it. It was out of Seattle, actually. The organization is out of Seattle. So did you say hi to them? I can't remember their Twitter handle or whatever, but I gotta figure out how to coordinate something with them because they tweeted at me because what they do is they try to get books to prisoners. Which is already a very worthwhile goal. I mean, as fucked up as our prison system is, we have the largest prison population in the world, and we definitely do not rehabilitate them very much. We could definitely do that, and the idea that there's a shortage of books, that these people are inside prison, the people are asking for books while they're in there, they should be flooded with them. They should, because books cost nothing because the internet, and also because I think these guys, if they're sitting there going hey, sorry I murdered that person, I would like to start reading while I'm in here, they shouldn't be empty-handed. I don't know how much we can do about that. It does seem like a really focused, worthwhile cause in general. Maybe I'll put some elbow grease into it and try to help, but I wanted to mention it to our viewers and listeners, because they specifically tweeted at me about D&D books, because a certain percentage of their prisoners that seek them out are asking for D&D books. And they can't get a hold of those either. I mean, and it's my God, now not only are they asking for books, they're asking for books that would open them up to creativity, to the assembly of their own mythology, to making shit right in a way that doesn't involve, stabbing real people and stuff.
You're talking about state and federal prisons that there's people are looking for books?
Yeah, I don't know all the details about it. I just know this charity is in Seattle, and I know that there are people that they just have this mass shortage of old D&D books, which it seems like this audience would have a surplus of. It seems like as if we found out there's a charity out there of people that don't have enough McDonald's wrappers. I'm not saying we're fat. I just mean it's just for us, it's kind of we got a lot of old D&D books, I think. So I don't know if we can have a drive or something like that at some point, and ship them crates.
Can we ship one prison? And not trying to be silly. Can we pick one prison where we send all of those books to, and the whole prison just starts playing?
So it's like adopt a prison. It would be like the signs on the freeway.
We have to go out and find who the dungeon master of that prison would be, and then that prison starts getting really into fucking Pathfinder or Dungeon or D&D or.
It would be amazing to adopt a prison if one podcast adopts one prison and just starts fucking around kind of okay, now we're gonna change wardens this week, and we just have our favorite prisoners come on the thing. Their whole prison system becomes corrupted because it's based on podcast listenership and stuff.
Fantastic.
Dan, Curtis, you don't know this, but very early on, a long time ago, Dan and I think it was before we started recording this, Dan said, let's get together, let's use Harmontown to find a dungeon master. Every week we'll use it the fucking so drunk. The shows like The Voice or whatever. We'll use our show to find the best dungeon master. The first week we found our friend Spencer,
right?
Who
I know. Yes.
And then we never looked any further beyond that. Why don't we find a prison and give them all of our D&D books, and then turn one prison into a giant D&D campaign? Is it possible?
Yes. I don't know. I think we'll start with.
Could we get one prison to be really into storytelling and into fantasy, and maybe save the world, and we bring them on the show, or we do a Harmontown. We do a Harmontown from that prison, like Johnny Cash.
Yeah. I want to do each week. We have like a guest from an inmate from the prison who's like a year from parole, and they're eligible for early parole, and we kind of like we give them a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, you get a trustee.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love this idea.
Like we pick their brain about what they did to go in, and then we're like, "What do you think, guys? You sound sorry to me." And then we just let them go. It's like, guess what? You're not going home. Here's a tie instead of handcuffs.
I would love to go to an actual prison and actually do a D&D campaign there and play with them there, like come what may, and maybe that positively would affect their parole hearing. Like the guy was so good at committing to his elf character.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine if you, If I'm sure if your average parole board overheard a game of Dungeons and Dragons, they'd be very impressed and want you out in the public immediately. Speaking of, let's bring Spencer out.
Spencer!
Yay!
Spencer Crittenden, everybody.
Sorry, everybody. That took me a while. Did I miss a high five opportunity there?
It's easy because you're going that way, and I'm over here.
Yeah.
Spencer, your high fives are built in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good to know. It's just because you had a pen in your hand.
Are those flowers blocking anyone from seeing your beautiful face?
Doug's fine.
I think we should strike those, as they say in the theater.
Now I can't see Spencer.
All right.
Yeah, just put them down there.
Put him in front of Dan. What's up, you guys?
Spencer, could you picture yourself going to like San Quentin or Folsom Prison, like Johnny Cash, and doing a giant game mastering session?
I was back there. I was just imagining, walking into like just the big prison, and then there's like a prison Spencer who's like, he has his lair or whatever. He has it all figured out, and he's like, he'd be the dungeon master of the prison, and we'd meet up and we'd have a whole day of it, and we'd learn we were really alike, and maybe we'd even like trade places, and he'd go to my house and my job and stuff and kill animals, and
because that's what you do.
No, because he's a prisoner.
Oh. What would
and
you
all
do?
prisoners murder animals.
What would you do in his place in a federal prison?
I'd frolic. No, I don't know. It'd probably be much less entertaining for me, I'd imagine.
Oh, it's Books to Prisoners at B2P Seattle. B2P Seattle is their Twitter handle.
B2P.
I'm going to continue to. They were sending me information. They have these letters that they tend to get. They sent me a picture of one of them. I don't think I can read that because of all the swastikas. Just kidding. Prison humor. Whatever they had to do in there to survive, that's what you had to do. Now I'm going to turn my back on you. I don't know if that would really be that would probably be really offensive to people whose charities like they just put all this work into like furnishing these people, and then you just like kind of do the swastika joke. It's just like every prisoner movie. You say if you're a white guy in prison, you have to be.
Do you think,
Nazi.
Dan, like on the Harmontown thing that we did a couple years ago, we went around the country and proved that Harmontown audiences are like they resemble each other. Like they're a lot like you guys here. Do you think that we could go do a show in a prison and people would dig it?
I don't know.